Hello everybody. Well, I'm back at Georgia after a week's break in the UK, and I thought I could come back and be perfectly reasonable, perfectly calm, be very nice to everybody, but no, that's not possible. It wouldn't be me if I wasn't going on about something. Now, and I need to today, okay? I remember when I was very young, and I hope many of you will remember, that during the miners' strike in the UK, the early days of Thatcher, I was very supportive of the miners. I don't expect everyone to agree with me, but that was my position at the time. I was a good trade unionist. And I always remember seeing somewhere being written that your children may say to you, "Mummy, Daddy, what did you do during the strike?" And I always wanted to be able to say what I did with a little conviction and the reason why. And had I not supported the strike, I would have wanted to say why I didn't support it. And that is just so important. And I've come back, and in the forefront of my brain, and I can't get it out of my head, is the pandemic and everything we went through with the pandemic. And I want people to say, what did you do during the pandemic? And if you ask me what did we do during the pandemic, I'll tell you. We were exhausted. Charles and I were here on our own with our staff. We took animals from all over the country because nobody else appeared to be taking them in. We took Kalesh horses in, and I got punished quite severely afterwards by another charity for doing that. And I think we saved a lot of lives, and those we couldn't save, we helped cross the Rainbow Bridge with dignity. So it was an exhausting 2 years. And now we're coming out of it, and things do change, but the pressures are still there because so many animals are still abandoned, are still being abandoned because life has changed. And the reality is that people who may have used working animals before, as I've said to you, I think in other videos, are not going to in the future. There's going to be more automation, more motorized transport, etc., etc. So we're still taking an awful lot of equines, and you will see that from my posts regularly. Now, a lot of people have asked me, because tourists have started to come back, and I think I want to make this very clear to everybody, people who may visit and are supporters as well. God, it's so hot. We are 40 degrees plus here, and we're quite used to it at this time of the year, but it is exhausting, particularly as you're getting older, so please do bear with me. I want to say what happens here on site. If you visit, what will you pay for and what won't you pay for? Okay, let me make it perfectly clear firstly. We do not take donations in cash. Occasionally it is forced on us, but I always make that very clear that that has happened. We say to people, no, we don't charge an entrance fee, and we don't want you to make a donation here. We would rather you make it online. And I'll come back to that in a moment and tell you why. Secondly, what you may have to pay for in the future, and I think it's entirely reasonable, is if you eat in our cafe or you have a coffee, yes, we would take cash for that transaction. If you buy a coffee, well, of course, we would charge you, we would take cash, and all the profit goes back into the Refuge. We're also this year going to put up a box on a stand that says staff tips. So if you want to leave a few dirhams when you're here that will go to the staff, that will be fabulous. Because remember that the staff who work here, who could work in the tourist industry where they would get tips and that their income would be increased by those tips, that they don't get them here. So that would be very much appreciated. But I'll come back to that in a minute because I have a bit of extra news. One of the reasons that it is important for you to donate online is that firstly, we have a complete record of all our donors, and that can be passed on to the authorities. So we can never ever fall into the trap of being seen as being corrupt or taking money and putting it in our back pockets and so on. It's all recorded. Um, we use primarily DonorBox. Some people do donate directly to PayPal, but if you use our link and go through DonorBox, you can still donate by PayPal. But DonorBox offers us a pretty amazing service for which they take a small payment themselves, which is absolutely worth it for us, because they keep a complete record of all the donations. We can print those off to go to the accountant, so we're absolutely squeaky clean. And more importantly, for people from England who make donations, they can tick the box to say yes to gift aid. Now that is important, and it's important, that's why you do it online, because then we can fill in the requisite forms online for the revenue in the UK. And I've just been there for a week, and my daughter Catherine and I have spent a week trying to work out the proper way to do it. It wasn't easy. We have to do it all online, and we have to fill in a line for every donation, who the person is, their address, etc., to make it absolutely bona fide and squeaky clean. But this is the good news. We cracked it, and we put in one block of donations, and I think it was donations amounting to £6,000. And Kathy kept saying to me, "Mum, we get 25% back." "No," I said, "I'll believe that when I see it." We did that last Saturday, and today in my bank account in the UK, we got our money from the Inland Revenue, which was 25%. I couldn't believe it. Absolute magic. And I hope that you would all agree that out of that little boost that we had, all the staff here who have worked during the holidays, when they should have been at home with their families, I was able to give a small bonus to all of them. And that is just terribly important, because if we didn't have the staff we've got, and if they didn't remain throughout these holiday periods when everybody takes time off and goes home to their families, there is no way, given 200 equines, that Charles and I could have continued to keep the refuge alive. So I think with careful management and common sense and acting within the law, we get ourselves through. So that's why we say to people who visit, please, if you'd like to donate, we're very grateful. There is no obligation, and you go home, please take one of our cards. If you really are serious, we're very grateful for the donation. If you don't, well, so be it. But we don't charge people to come and see the donkeys. That to us just doesn't seem right. The donkeys are here for the rest of their lives, and it is a true charitable venture. And we are very fortunate that most people who visit, they do go home and make a donation. But I wanted to make that clear. We hope that during the year coming, our cafe will grow, and of course that will supplement our finances here in Morocco. And we have a little boutique, and we're not very good at pushing it because we're not very commercial, but we hope that eventually that will grow and contribute. So thank you, those of you in the UK who helped me get my records straight, and we're still waiting for our end of year accounts from our accountant, and they will be published online when they happen. And thank you to all of you who continue to support us, and between us, I promise you, we are making the world a better place in a small corner of Morocco. So bye for now.